Testing 1, 2. Tap, tap, tap. Can you hear me down the back? Hopefully, this will never be you. Welcome to Lesson 6, Mics and Cameras. To start, we're going to have a layperson's look at signal path and the types of mics and how they work for us as public speakers. Internally, mics work in different ways. They can tap or use a magnet, but they all capture your voice, turn it into signals, which they send to a mixer. In the mixer you play with the sound, and then the mixer sends it to an amplifier to make it louder, and the amp sends it to the speakers. Some mics use your breath to turn into signals, and some use sound waves. Naturally, it's a whole heap more complicated, but you're a speaker, and that's all you need to know about signal path. What is useful to know is a bit about microphones. Mics have a polar pickup. It just means where the sound is collected from. This is the most common type of mic, a cardioid pickup. It looks like a heart. Now, what that means for us as a speaker is that it will pick up my speech whether the mic is here or whether the mic is like this, but it won't get me if it's like this. Don't panic too much. The microphone provided by the venue is the appropriate one. Just have a quick look to see what kind it is, usually written on the side, or ask the venue technician and plan how you will hold it or stand in front of it. We know how to talk into a mic. Let's think about different types of mics and what they do for us. You will often speak at a lectern, and it can have 1 or 2 goosenecks. Test where you'll stand and where the mic needs to point before the event. It's important not to bump the lectern or flick the mic with your papers, so practice on the day is needed. The polar pickups on a 2 setup is delicate, so you don't need to play with it, and you don't need to lean in. Sometimes we play with the mic as a settling gesture. It's not required. When mics are on a stand, check where you can position yourself. The feet will stick out. To stand between 2 feet is better than to stand aside. This stand has got an arm on it, and this one stands straight up. A good technician will have a coil of cable on the floor and a loop around the stand. If you are going to take the mic off, practice this. It comes out and there's a flick. Now, know how far that the mic will let you travel as well. When you're adjusting a mic stand, and you will usually do this before the event, but sometimes the person before you might change it, if you have to adjust the height of the stand, remember this: righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So you turn left to loosen it, you turn right to tighten it, left and right. Radio mics replace the cable with a radio signal, so there's no encumbrances. This doesn't mean that you can just wander about. Feedback, that high squealing noise, is created when a mic can hear itself through the speakers, and a loop of sound is created. So you have to be careful not to go near, and definitely not in front of the speakers. Portable radio mics have the mixer, amplifier and speaker all in one box, so avoid going near the box. Also avoid suddenly being loud. The mic is designed to cut out if there is a sudden noise and stay off for a few seconds, so everything that you say will be lost during that time. Pull the mic away, as I did, if you need to get loud. Boom mics are mics on a stick. If there's an operator, the mic will follow you, within reason. Otherwise, you need to know where you can wander. Another kind of radio mic you might come in contact with is a lavalier or lapel mic. This is a tiny mic with a cable to a little box. The box looks like this. The box sends the signal by radio to the mixer, amp, etc. The little mic can be attached to your lapel. It can be hidden behind the knot in your tie. In the theatre, it's often hidden in the wig or the hair. And sometimes they come with a little headset that you can wear. These do a great job if you don't bump them. Train yourself to keep your hands well away from where they're placed. If you straighten your tie, there will be a terrible noise. The other issue too is that lavalier mics have the little box and the cable. The box is called a belt pack and it clips onto a belt, usually at the back. The cable runs through the clothing. It also comes with a pack holder that you can wear around your body. But if you have a nice sleek dress or a close-fitting suit, it looks terrible under your clothes. So when you're choosing your clothing for the event, think about how you can wear the belt pack to make the cable and the box look less conspicuous. It can even sometimes be put in your top pocket. Testing the mics. Never tap a mic. They're delicate instruments and you don't want something to go wrong at the beginning of your speech. You blow over the top of the mic. If you have breathy or lispy speech, and sometimes false teeth can cause this, you need to be sure that the sounds don't hit the mic too hard. This is why technicians go test 1, 2. They are seeing how the t sound goes. Move the mic to the spot where the plosive sounds don't make a hiss. T, t, t. About the "can you hear me down the back?" Sound systems amplify your voice. That's what they do. So you don't need to raise your voice. You speak normally into the correct mic position and the technician will set the levels for you. You will have tested the extent of the system before speaking, but if you're still worried, ask the back row to put their hand up. It's a gentle way of getting the information you need. Remember, up is on. A microphone generally won't have a light on. A little light will flick on and then go off. You can't tell if a mic is on by looking for a light. Just check to see if the switch is up. Up is on. A quick word about cameras, and this is all about the confidence thing that we've been talking about all the way through. If the venue is big, there will be TV screens and cameras so that the audience at the back has a view of you when you are speaking. Ignore them. Looking at yourself on screen is never going to help your confidence. I'm never going to look any younger or thinner or less grey-haired, but what I have to say is important and well prepared. In a previous lesson, we talked about grooming. Be well groomed, gesture above your waist, don't read from your notes because it drops your head. Oh, and don't wear narrow stripes. It makes a flare in the camera lens. One final suggestion. I have a light voice, and when I'm speaking in public, through the equipment I add a little bit of bass. It gives me gravitas. I don't want to sound like a man, but human beings respond to bass sounds as authoritative. If you already have a very bass voice, you may wish to add some treble, because deep voices can lull an audience and make them a little bit too relaxed. The technician will help you in this. In our final lesson, we're going to explore how rehearsal works and what to do when you get to the venue.